Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series X-Men Chod Build-A-Figure Wave. Here we have Cyclops, the Astonishing Cyclops, and this is a really damn good figure. I mean, really good, and I'm excited to talk about it. But let's look at the package. We got the X-Men logo there, X-Men logo up at the top. We get the artwork of the, Cyclops kind of there in the background. We've got the render of the figure. That same artwork is actually there on the side, looking really good. Here we take a look at the Chod Build-A-Figure and all the pieces that to build him. You can see it is a 7-figure wave. Cyclops is the double pack in there. He does not include a Build-A-Figure piece. That's why he's not listed there. And then here at the back of the package, you can see he just comes with an extra pair of hands. But again, this is a really good figure. I mean, it is really nice. The sculpted detail throughout the entirety of the figure is just really damn awesome. There is a flaw. I wish it would have come with the second head, whether a screaming head or whatever, but maybe something just without the kind of the beam smoke coming from his lens there. It would be so much better if we had like a normal head or even a screaming head. Maybe a screaming head that had that, or just an other head that doesn't include that. I think it would be a little bit better. I mean, it's okay that it's there, but I'd rather it not be there in case it breaks off or anything like that. And then just, you know, gives you options. But other than that, it is an absolutely fantastic figure. This wave, as far as I know, Big Bad Toy Store is the first to get the wave. I had it pre-ordered with them and they shipped out the entire wave. So just a heads up on that. It came from Big Bad Toy Store. So there is Cyclops. Let's go ahead and get in for a closer look. We will do some side-by-side comparisons. Not really going to do a whole lot. I will show with the previous Astonishing X-Men Cyclops figure that we had, the Astonishing X-Men Wolverine that we got, and then the new Vulcan body, Vulcan figure. And I guess I do have a Havoc right here readily available, so we'll see the Summers boys. Corsair will be later on in the review lineup, so we could see the whole Summers family. But yeah, let's go ahead and get in for the closer look at Cyclops. So look at the details, because again, really good figure. Okay, so up close look at Cyclops. Not a whole lot going on. It's just kind of almost a full face mask. He got his visor there. It's done in kind of a silver color, and then again we just kind of have a little bit of the red smoke coming out of it, and that is a singular piece over the entire red there. The portion of his face that we see is just kind of a relaxed head. We just kind of get paint there for the lips, and that looks pretty good. A screaming head would have been awesome. A secondary head without the little smoke effect on there would be really cool. But I want to talk about this figure because this figure is just so good. The gold lines on here, those are sculpted. That's not just paint. I mean, they're painted, obviously, but those lines are actually sculpted on there. So we're not getting like just a repaint of a Vulcan body or anything like that. There are some similarities to the Vulcan body because I wanted to take a look to see kind of what some similarities were. And if you look, if you notice, some of the muscle definition is actually going to be the same kind of along the figure to where they probably just use it as a base within the digital sculpt and then kind of add in some of those things. So we get like a seam line in the suit and then those gold lines added. But then the rest of it is kind of really all different kind of throughout. Where this works for a generic body when it's just kind of all smooth. You don't really see wrinkles in a suit or anything like that. Cyclops gets wrinkles in the suit. And again, it's done really nice. Like you see a wrinkle there, right here along the elbows and everything like that. It is fully pinless, so no pins at the elbows, no pins at the knees. But you can see a lot of the sculpted wrinkles there on the legs. Through the hips and everything, just came out looking really nice. But anyway, back to those gold lines that are molded on there, molded on the shoulder and everything on the back. Paint seems to be applied pretty nicely, except here on the back, it seems to have gotten a little bit thicker just in these portions there. They're not, you know, too sloppy or anything like that, so it's not, you know, really an issue. I just thought I'd point that out. But yeah, it just looks really nice. Man, just kind of throughout. Like right here on the ankle, these little bands on there, those are keyed onto the figure, so they're a separate piece instead of just like sculpted on there. And that could be, you know, for future use, they could do different things. I think Hasbro is trying to think of ways that can make it easier for them in the future, like just having a little portion kind of keyed out around that ankle to where they could switch different bands onto a different figure if needed or whatever. Or even here with this little gold band around the top of the calf. As you can see, that is a separate part from this leg piece under the knee, and then, you know, you have that calf swivel in there, so that's something that they would be able to change out. These bracelets are just kind of free floating, so you could just kind of remove them if you wanted to. The belt looks nice, but crazy enough, the belt, it doesn't necessarily float around. because as you could see right behind that X logo, it's kind of keyed into the figure right there. So you could see it pops right in there to really hold in place. Now it's not really glued or anything, as you can kind of take it out. But I love when they do that, because then it holds the piece in place. So you could swivel around and that belt essentially stays exactly right there, whereas a lot of the other figures you have to move it around. Is it that big of a deal? No, it's really, really not. But it's just that little extra step that, you know, Hasbro's putting some thought into effort into those things. We don't get that with a lot of figures. So, you know, when we do get it, we want to celebrate it and praise it. And hopefully Hasbro hears that and does it more often so we can get better stuff out of the Marvel Legends line. I know a lot of folks are not liking the Legends as much as they used to, or just flat out quitting the line, or whatever the case may be. I still love the line. But I do want to see more. I do want to see improvements wherever possible. And this Cyclops figure is really a step in the right direction. And they have a lot of figures that really are. But then there's a lot that just aren't, right? We feel like we take 2 steps forward, sometimes 3 steps back. Sometimes it feels that way, but I just can't praise this figure enough. I think it's just done really, really nice. In terms of accessories, not a whole lot. The figure actually comes with fists out of the package. I already swapped out this one, so you can see this is like his 2-finger hand, so you can have it up against his visor, you know, like so. And then for the right hand, it's just this open hand here, as you can see there. So that is the Cyclops figure, and man, it's again just a really, really, really nice figure. I just love this guy. So now let's go ahead and zoom out for his articulation. Okay, Cyclops, his head is on a disc hinge, so he can look down that much. He can look up that much, which is pretty good there. Let's see if we got some. We got the full swivel in there, of course. Pivot, really no pivot at all, so that's kind of unfortunate. The arm, you can get the arm to go straight on out. You get a full rotation in there. He does have a butterfly joint. Unfortunately, that butterfly doesn't go back as much as you think it would. It feels like something's really hindering it, and you could see it doesn't go all the way back. So I know that people have modded like the Vulcan body, especially like on the Black Panther, you know, art with toys. I'll have to get with Rick to see exactly kind of what it is, but I know there is a modification to probably get those butterflies to work a little bit more, but that's just going back. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you a whole lot. Coming forward, it feels like the butterfly doesn't move a whole lot forward, so you only get so much crossbody there. So it's unfortunate in there, you know, that you get some movement. It's just not as much as you would think would be in there. Upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinless elbow gives you that much bend there, which is quite nice. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. All hands have the standard horizontal hinge. Here we have an ab crunch on this guy, which just fits in so nicely with those lines even. So crunching forward, he could go forward that much. Not a huge amount. Oh, wait. There's more. Crunch forward that much. That is really nice. You can see the gold band, molding there, and the paint continues on, which is really nice. Going back, he goes back that far, and again the gold paint and that line continues through it. Waist swivel there, legs go out that far apart, which is nice. Are they dropped down? They are not dropped down. Leg can kick forward that far, which is good. Leg goes back ever so slightly, I would say. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there at the knee, which is quite nice. There is the calf swivel just under that gold trim there. Got the calf swivel. Foot hinges down. Well, here's the thing. So foot hinges down only so much. So what actually ends up happening is the back of the foot, the heel, actually hits that gold band and then kind of stops it from going down so much. You get a little bit of hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So yeah, very, 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 very good. Cyclops figure. Man, such a good figure. This is one that I think everyone's just really going to want to pick up for Cyclops, just like the Jim Lee version was. You know, and I get it, right? The cell shading isn't for everybody, but man, with the Vulcan body adjustments that they did for this figure, you know, all these, you know, bands and things being part of the sculpt, it just came out so damn nice. It's like one of those figures where, man, it's just such a good iteration of Cyclops. It's one that people should just really pick up, and it's one that's like, oh, if you're an X-Men fan, if you're a Cyclops fan, this is like the one you have to have in your collection, right? I feel that way about this Astonishing X-Men Cyclops, and we've had a lot of Cyclops figures. I only brought these 2 of them out because there's just way too many to bring out all of them. And why can I not get this guy to stand on his damn feet flat? There we go. I don't know why I'm like all going crazy like that. But yeah, there's just way too many Cyclops figures, and the majority of them were on the Bucky Cap body. So it's nice that, again, we're getting a Cyclops figure not on Bucky Cap. Had we gotten like a Cyclops figure even on the Spider-Man 2099 body, I think I would have been okay with that. But we kept getting Bucky Cap after Bucky Cap after Bucky Cap. At least the Tri-Sentinel, the Theta Sentinel Build-A-Figure, at least that one had like pinless arms. But man, it was all Bucky Cap, so you could see kind of the different Cyclops. We got 2 really good one, and one that's just not so good. I mean, this one at the time, this was the this was in the Puck Build-A-Figure wave. You know, that was kind of a tough one to get. I guess it was a PX exclusive, so you know, it didn't go out into stores. It was like online and like comic book shop only. Thankfully, they don't do full waves like that anymore. Well, they'll just do like one-off single releases. But man, like that Jubilee Build-A-Figure, that Storm figure was just so hard to get. No, I'm thinking 2 different waves now. That was a Toys R Us exclusive. The Puck Build-A-Figure, but that Emma Frost figure was like insanely priced to try and get that Emma Frost. This wave, we actually get a new Emma Frost, and you know, there would be upgrades and stuff made to that Emma Frost compared to the other one, which I don't have that other one to be able to do a comparison when I do that Emma Frost. We have a couple of other Emma Frost figures that I'll be able to do, but yeah, big, huge difference between these 2. The suits aren't exactly the same, but they are still based on like Astonishing X-Men, so it's just such a good upgrade and update to it. You know, the blue is much better. This one had a very dark blue. This one isn't nearly as dark. It's still a dark blue because you can see the Jim Lee one, just how bright it is. But man, you know, when you get sculpted line work and things like that, and just the effort that Hasbro puts in, it is really nice. The only benefit this guy has is he has just the normal head without the little blast flare kind of sticking out. But literally, that's it. Okay, so the Summers brothers, poor Alex, right? He didn't get a new body. We got a new Havoc figure. We had one similar before. There is another Havoc figure from X Factor, but we have this one. And this one, you know, he gets the short end of the stick because he's got the pinned elbows and the pinned knees. Not that the body that they use for him is bad. It's just now we have, you know, the Vulcan body, and then this new one. This Cyclops, again, is similar, but it is shorter than the Vulcan body. As you can see, it's significantly shorter, I would say. And that's going to be right at the shoulders, and then, you know, with the head, depending on where it sits on the neck, really will show you kind of how short, you know, he really is. And I think the position of my camera and everything kind of makes it play tricks like it's really close. It is a significant difference, and I think the real reason for that is if you look at these hip pieces where the leg comes together for Vulcan, that's a larger piece, whereas on Cyclops it's a much shorter piece, and then on 2099 they're very short pieces as well. So it's just on this Vulcan one that you get the really long legs, and that's because of those hip legs pieces being so you know, so long. Havoc and Cyclops are about the same height. You know, these parts on top of Havoc's head kind of pushed him over Cyclops's height, but they're very similar. But again, there are the Summers brothers. Corsair will be coming up. I think he's like 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to be 5th in the lineup for the reviews. I just kind of go in order now just to make it easier. But yeah, so now let's go ahead and see Cyclops with the Astonishing X-Men Wolverine that came in that Jubilee Build-A-Figure wave that I was talking about. That's why I'm getting all mixed up. Plus, it's late and I'm tired, guys. Okay, so Hasbro has never really been big on scale, making sure that things scale accurately, properly with each other. Sometimes it feels like they do a really good job of that, but a lot of times they don't. Like, if you look at, you know, this Cyclops, he was barely taller than that Wolverine, where Wolverine should be significantly shorter. This Wolverine, they use this body on a few different Wolverines. I think this is the only Wolverine that I actually have on this body. It's just way too tall. So it's kind of unfortunate, but this is the Astonishing X-Men Wolverine. Again, this is one that came in the Jubilee Build-A-Figure wave, which was exclusive to Toys R Us. As you can see, height there, at least Cyclops is technically taller than him. He should be a lot more taller than the Cyclops figure, than the Wolverine figure. And the Wolverine wasn't that great of a figure. I mean, he had his diaphragm swivel. Did it even tilt? No. Came forward and back a little bit, but there was no tilt, and it's a little loose. It's just kind of a funky figure now there. But you know, I'm surprised, because when was the last time we got a Wolverine figure? Was it in the VHS line? Was that the last time we got a Wolverine figure? It was, because even with the 60th anniversary, we didn't get a new Wolverine figure. I can't imagine that Hasbro would release, you know, the Astonishing X-Men, the Cyclops, even that Emma Frost figure, and not give us this suit on a new Wolverine figure. Oh, we had the Wolverine in the retro X-Men wave. Duh. What, you know, they have that pinless body now for Wolverine, so maybe they'll give us, you know, that new pinless one and give us this suit on that. You know, we'll see. Maybe, maybe not. Probably. Okay, and that is a review of the Cyclops figure. I think it is a fantastic one. I think it is a must pick up, but you guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on this Cyclops figure. I know, chances are you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Cyclops figures already, but are they going to be as good as this one? If you have the Jim Lee version, and this is the version that you know and love, and you don't mind the cell shading, then shit, you're going to be happy. Extremely satisfied with this version. And that's okay, because it is an awesome figure. But, you know, if you want to build out different X-Men teams, or you just really like Cyclops, or you're a completist, you really love the X-Men, get all the X-Men figures, you know, this is one to definitely pick up sooner rather than later. I know a lot of people play long games on figures, and I feel like this wave is going to have a few candidates that are going to be a wait until good pricing type figure. I don't think Cyclops is one of them. You know, history has shown that the double pack figures tend to be the more expensive figures to get later on down the line, with the exception of probably the Gwenpool figure from the Lizard Build-A-Figure wave. Most of the time those double pack figures end up being kind of the most sought after from the wave. And of course it would be Cyclops. That is another reason why they don't come with the Build-A-Figure. You know, aside from being the double pack in there, they don't come with the Build-A-Figure piece, but it's usually one that's strong enough to sell on its own without really needing that Build-A-Figure to help push sales. Whereas like Kid Omega, yeah, he probably needed that. Fang, probably. Emma Frost, maybe she could have sold well enough on her own. Generation X, I think not everyone's familiar with that. Even I'm not. So just kind of some of those thoughts there. But you guys let me know your thoughts of this Cyclops figure down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.